checking my Backhoe out, figured out I got a bad water pump. Not an easy way to drain the antifreeze out of these. I don't know why they didn't do this a little different, but I usually just pull this heater hose off of this fitting down here and just make a big mess, get it all over with. There's a valve on there you can kind of try to turn off, but it doesn't work too good. And but anyway, what I thought was going on was I've had trouble with this belt tensioner making noise and squawking and chirping, and I thought that was a problem. Well, the more I looked into this, the more I figured out, well, you know what, it could be one of the idler pulleys. Well, if you can hear that, these pumps, actually the bearing will go out before the seal starts leaking on them. I've had that happen before. Last time it happened, it was on a job, so it's about due for, it was probably about 4,000 hours when the first one happened, and this one's probably about the same, so. Anyway, what a mess. Try to regulate it a little bit with airflow. I'll probably go ahead and put new water in it anyway, new antifreeze in it anyway, so. About time for a coolant change. But this is a simple water pump, one of the easiest ones. It's like a B series coming, so it's very easy. Anyway, looks like we're about down to a dribble there. But I don't know why they don't put better coolant drains on these things like this. I guess it's just inconvenient, but I'm gonna go ahead and just start pulling the pump off. I think it's, there's just 2 bolts holds it on there once you get the pulley or the belt off of it. So it's a pretty simple deal. Anyway, I'm glad I pulled it in the shop today and looked at it. Well, now she's draining. Good mess. Usually if you got water running like that out of something, sometimes you can put a rag on it and redirect it a little bit better. I'm getting maybe 80% in the bucket anyway. I knew there was more water than that in there. So water pump, last time this happened, the New Holland dealer didn't have one. The case shop did though. That's the neat thing about this machine, is it shares a lot of engine parts with a case. But before I go to case, I'm gonna try my Napa store and see if, because I think it's the same pump that a B series 6-cylinder uses. I may be wrong, but we're gonna compare them and see if they're the same. If that's the case, I won't have far to go. It'll be an easy deal. I don't know why I even bothered putting a bucket under there. I think I should have just dumped it on the floor. The way it looks. Tell you what, I'm gonna pull that tensioner off of there because it'll just make the job a little bit easier. I'm glad I caught this before it happened out on the job. I've got to go to Tulsa tomorrow, and I'm probably gonna be up there for a couple days. So I dodged the bullet on this deal, that's for sure, because I did not even think about that. I mean, you can't tell that's loose while the belt's on it. And even after I had the belt off, it took me a little bit to realize what was going on there, but. Anyway, we will get this sucker off of here and well, She's stuck. There we go. All right, we got her out. That is a B95 water pump right there, and this is the sealing ring, no gasket, pretty simple deal. I really like the way they designed it, but anyway, my bearing's bad, so we'll go get another pump, see if we can get this thing back together here pretty quick. But well, I decided while I was into this backhoe and I had the coolant system drained, I was going to replace some heater hoses, but I want to show you, there's just places like this, there's nicks in them where sometimes they get up against other lines and other hoses, and like right in here, it's wore in pretty good from two sides. But the other hose actually looks worse than that one. But thing is, you got to snake them things through. And the way I did this one's I got a rope tied to it, and they come all the way back into here, and it's easy to pull your tire off. But these are the little things that if you get out on a job and you break one of these hoses like this, I guess you can pinch it off up at the engine and keep running, but you know, these are the little deals. If you keep up with this stuff, I think it makes a difference in the long run. Not to say I won't have another breakdown of some kind, but just while I was in there, I decided to just go ahead and see if we couldn't put some new heater hoses on it at least. I mean, it's an easy job in the shop, but this is tougher than crap out in the field. I mean, it's not easy at all out there. So I have had mud come up off of my tire, and I don't know why they put a shield up around the front here, but I guess to guard these electric wires, but they didn't guard back here, and I wish they would have shielded all the way back. But I have had mud get up in here, and a piece of mud after it got hard set up here, and it worked a hole in one of the heater hoses. And I was lucky enough I was able to just pull a little bit of slack in the hose and put it back on and get running again. And that got me thinking one day, you know, boy, whenever them go down, they go down. And in the winter time, you don't want to just cap off your heater hoses. Summertime wouldn't be a bad deal. Probably wouldn't hurt to have valves on them. But you know, what's wrong with just having a good heater hose? That's kind of what I got to thinking. So that's what I'm doing today. After this, we'll finish up the water pump and get it all back together. But this is a mess. I mean, you got hoses that got antifreeze in them. When you pull them out, they run down your sleeve and everything else. But anyway, fun deal. I'm gonna get back to work here. All right, I want to show you where I ended up getting my water pump. I went to Napa. I've got a parts store that's about 10 miles from me, and one of the things, I love online shopping. I think it's great and everything, but there are times you cannot beat a walk-in store. You walk in there, you get a part, you walk home, or you drive home, hopefully, and you get your equipment fixed. So I try to support my local store as much as I can. I try to support the one that's closest to my house. Just makes sense to me. So many people have just gone to all internet, which I do shop online. I do buy parts online, don't get me wrong. But I try to give them a chance when I can. There's some things they just can't match the price on, and there's some things I won't pay full price at Napa for a part. But a lot of times they will deal with you a little bit on the price. If you let them know, hey, I could get that somewhere else a little bit cheaper, they might knock a little bit off. But anyhow, that's my thoughts on that. I'm gonna get a little bit of paint and go ahead and paint this one. I didn't paint the last one, maybe that's why it didn't last. Anyway, I've got a little bit of paint here, so got some time. I'll get her painted up and put her on there. I've got some heater hose too. I think I might change out while I'm at it. So anyway, we're gonna have her back ready to go here in a little bit. Didn't have to order it and wait online. Anyways, got the new gasket with it. So that's, I usually put a little grease on that kind of stuff there. And I'm gonna go ahead and grease the flanges here too. Just kind of keep rust from building up back behind it, maybe. I don't know if that helps or not, but the other one was kind of rusty on the back side, so. And I'm in the process of changing out some heater hose, and I realized I didn't get enough of that, so I'm gonna have to make another trip to get heater hose. And looks like I've lost a bolt too. Bounced right down in there. There it is. All right, now we're in business. All right. And if you got the NICs, always use the NICs. I don't know. I like it, especially on engine bolts. Seems like engine bolts will lock up, especially through aluminum. But this is not aluminum, but they get a lot of heat. They get a lot of, being on the front of the engine like this, they get a lot of dirt. And I don't like twisting bolts off, so. Anyway, I put a little bit of gray paint on it to kind of match the engine. Let's see, make sure I got the O-ring in there. And like I say, these are one of the simplest water pump changes ever. Cummins has the ticket on this. I mean, this is an Iveco engine, but it's a Cummins clone. It's basically a 4B series with the gear case on the back side instead of the front side. I don't know why they changed that, but I think it's to make it more accessible to work on up in the front. Maybe, I don't know, but I do like their water pumps. And they're not that bad on the price either. It was $95. I probably could have got one online a little bit cheaper, but like I said, I would have had to waited till probably 3 days from now to get it. And this one was ready today, so just can't beat that. Like I say, I like online shopping, but I worry sometimes I'm gonna lose my dealer or my brick and mortar store if I do all my shopping online. I even found out that they can get me the brake parts for my axle, so I'm gonna be doing my other axle pretty soon. As soon as they get the parts in for that. They can get me reline shoes, and I just take the cores in, trade them in. Pretty simple deal. So, got our new water pump on. Should be good for another 5,000 hours, I hope. And I've already lubed this thing up with the NICs. Get the belt back on. And let's see. I've got it all jacked up too. I pulled my other idler bearing off earlier, and you might think it's funny, but I greased the bearing in it, put it back together. There are just some things that there's just some things that need to, sometimes they just need greased, and bearings are one of them. If you got a sealed bearing and you can't get grease in it, well, you know, you can, but what I'm trying to say is you can extend the life of these bearings if you pull a little, just a little plastic, or I guess it's kind of a neoprene or rubber or something, seal. They're not really sealed that tight. You can snap them out if you're careful. You don't bend them. You can grease the bearing, put the seal back on it, and you'll be good to go for, I don't know, a while longer. I use, my dad's always done that to combines and sealed bearings, so it's just one of them habits I picked up from him. He used to drill holes in the metal shielded ones, and he'd squirt grease in them, and then he'd put a sheet metal screw in the hole just to keep the dirt out or keep the grease in. And every now and then I'd see him, on some of the bearings on them old combines, he'd pull a sheet metal screw out and put the needle nose on his grease gun, and he made bearings last a long time like that, especially the ones that are hard to get to change. So anyway, you figure though that's going to be 20-30 bucks for a bearing if you bought it at the dealer. So might save a little money here. Takes a little time, but it saves some money down the road. But anyway, that's a water pump install. That was pretty simple. Like I say, now I just got to go to Napa and get some more hose. And I know the length now because I got this one pulled out. So anyway, more fun. Okay, if you're an engineer for equipment, I just want to give you a pointer. This is a bad spot to put your overflow or your fill tank for your radiator. This is not actually an overflow. It's not a good place to put it, guys. We've got the hoses on, we've got the water pump on. We're going to try to start filling this up. I'm probably going to have to go get a dadgum funnel. Because some engineer thought that was a good place to put that. There we go. Now I can pour it in. I think the engineers and the funnel makers have I think they got a conspiracy going on here. Hey, funnel fills are down. Can you guys help us out? Oh yeah, sure. We can help you out. I'll fix it for you. Sounds better. No more belt chirping.